up, people? It's your boy Alex. Alright, I'm back. I'm still on my little spring break, YouTube break, aka YouTube spring break. I'm just gonna drop two videos, and then it's gonna probably be a while before you get any more videos, cause I gotta eventually make a new YouTube channel, and then some of my best videos are gonna go from being on this main channel to be on my reserve channel. Usually when I do that, that's when the audience get angry and upset with me because they always want to see my best content on that reserve channel. Now, I did say I was going to come back with a highly anticipated sequel. In this case, I'm going to say sequels. I got to make part three of the animes that should be made into television and film. Expect that video to be within a week or two because I got to find the animes that make part three. This is part two of the movies that you were expecting to see that you're going to have to wait much later for. So this is part two of Sex Game, but it's got a new title to it. It's called Sex Game, the top 9 movies of mid to late summer and fall part 2. I only made part 1, and part 1 only had 6 movie titles. This one has 9, and I probably might turn this into a part 3 because I said I was going to get to the television show, so I'll have to make part 3 half and half movies, half television shows, because it's going to say Sex Game, the top 9 movies of mid to late summer, fall, part 2, 2020 to 2024. So I know that's a long title. I apologize for that, my YouTube audience. I mean, I really do. It's a long title. Sometimes I try to be creative for my videos. So let's get into it, shall we? Coming in at number 9 is Godzilla vs. King Kong. This is a highly anticipated monster film. Everybody who loves Godzilla have seen the other 2 films. You've seen Godzilla when it came out in 2014, and we saw the highly anticipated sequel that came out in 2018. So you got to see 2 Godzilla films. Now, Kong, we got to see sometime after that. Kong Sky Island was far more anticipating, more action, more adventure, more excitement. You heard some people say that Kong Sky Island was a far better film than Godzilla of 2014 because people complained there was too much dialogue, too much talking, and not enough fighting monster action. So Kong Sky Island provide that action that was missing from that first Godzilla film. The sequel, Godzilla King of the Monsters, is by far my favorite film. I will see that on DVD later. And of course, I know you people were looking forward to this, but I think this film is going to get edited. They're going to add some more stuff to it. Instead of a 2-hour film, this might end up being 2 hours and 20 minutes. For a fact this is going to come out between probably summer of 2021 or 2022. So I could see them push this back a year or 2 years. Yeah, it was going to come out this year, but I do feel like you could push this back because the one thing I've noticed with big Hollywood blockbuster movies is that if you put some of the best movies out all in one year, you get too many movies, and then you can't see all the movies throughout the whole summer. So I think it's a good idea that if you spread out all the films and let each movie have a chance to dominate the box office, it has the potential to smash records. Like this movie, I do believe it'll get number 1 at the box office. If you push the date back a year, 2 years, it's good. By the time we get to see Godzilla vs. King Kong, we would be getting a highly anticipated Kong Sky Island Part 2. So you'll get another movie of Kong. You'll get a sequel. And then you're going to get a Godzilla 3. So I think if you do this, it'll be good because you can get 2 movies out of this. So you get this movie, but then you get 2 more movies out of it. And it will already complete the monster universe. So I think that's good if we go with that. Coming in at number 8 is Mission Impossible 7. Now, it's been confirmed that Tom Cruise is going to come back and give us a seventh installment to his series. So we get to see some more of Nathan Hunt from Mission Impossible. I know a lot of y'all thought part six was the last one. Now he decided there's going to be a seventh installment. Quite frankly, I like Mission Impossible. I like the Mission Impossibles. I like the James Bonds. But if you ask me what I thought was more better, I probably would say it's a tie. I mean, to see some more Nathan Hunt, I can't wait to see what Tom Cruise is going to do with his character in a seventh installment. Look for this movie to be around 2022 or 2023. Why? Because there's going to be reshoots, there's going to be editing, there's going to be them adding stuff, taking stuff out. Expect a trailer to come out in 2021 for a 2022 movie release. And it's good for him because it gives him something to do. And who knows? This might actually be better than the last one. What I like about Tom Cruise as an actor and as a producer, he always finds ways to make the next Mission Impossible film better than the last one. And I have a feeling he's probably going to make the seventh one by far the best one in the series. I mean, I could see him go as far as eight. Like I can imagine a Mission Impossible 8 after 7. So expect him to do 7, expect that to be a big hit, and then expect an 8 right after that. Why? Because once Tom gets started on something, you know what they say, once Tom Cruise gets started on something, he is going to continue to follow into his work. All right, coming in at number 7 is Aquaman 2. I love the first Aquaman film. Very action packed. Good story, good versus bad. The idea that someone could control the weather, control the ocean. And I like the mythology of Atlantis. And a lot of people draw big comparisons between Aquaman and, of course, Thor. And the sequel is going to have some big ramifications. I mean, this is going to help the DC universe a big deal. Movies like Wonder Woman, Shazam, The Batman, Black Adam, which I didn't put on this list because I'm going to say that for the third video. And Aquaman is becoming one of my favorite DC superheroes. He wasn't in the very beginning, but after what they did with Jason Momoa's portrayal of that character, I like Aquaman now. And I can't wait for the sequel. I mean, the idea that he's going to have to, become more of a powerful Atlantean and he's now the king of Atlantis makes that mythology so much more easier to watch on camera. I know this is going to be one of those movies you're going to have to wait for. I can see the date get pushed back to 2021, also for a 2022 release. By that point, we would have already had him in another movie, and another Aquaman will follow right after. They'll probably film 2 and 3 back to back, so his story will come full circle. By the time we get to I want to see a 3, they would already have a 3 already filmed. Some of these movies get filmed back to back, or out of sequence, or out of order. Alright. Highly anticipated movie, Matrix 4. You've heard it. We've all heard it. Keanu Reeves is coming back as Neo, Matrix 4. Now, this is a movie that we all thought would never happen. Ever since the video games of the Matrix, the comic books, people have been wanting another Matrix film, and finally we're getting Matrix 4. It's supposed to be darker. It's supposed to explain how he comes back with all his powers. What I expect from out of Matrix 4 is to, in a way, I want them to recon Matrix Revolution. I like the first Matrix. I love Matrix Reloaded. I thought Part 2 was better than Part 1. But I felt that Matrix Revolution, the third Matrix, didn't quite exactly explain how the one is able to do what he does. They explain in the first half, and then the second half they just decided to let's make it into a battle royal. And it's like there were a lot of more unanswered questions than questions actually being answered in the third movie. Like I wanted to know what did the Oracle meant by Neo will come back. And what did the architect really mean when he said, do you think this war is even over? So I wanted them to get more onto that mythology. And the machines, it took 3 movies for us to find out that there was a machine world. And the fact that you hear them say they're going to go with a younger version of Morpheus makes me wonder, are we going back to when Morpheus first discovered the Matrix? Is this going to be a before or after film? Like, I'm curious to what you're going to do with Matrix 4, and hopefully we get to not only see Neo, finally give us some history on the past chosen ones. They mentioned it in the second film, and I wish the third film could have actually touched on every time you reprogram the Matrix with a new chosen one, how come all these guys keep disappearing, and how is Neo able to figure out there were other chosen ones when the other chosen ones did not realize there were ones before and after them. So hopefully Matrix 4 answer all those questions. Thor 4, which has been entitled Thor Love and Thunder. This right here would be anticipated because it's going to be the fourth movie in the franchise. Chris Hemsworth is coming back as the Thunder God. And the idea that Loki's going to be messing with time itself is a good concept for a movie. He's getting his own television show, and then it ties right into the movie. So I think that's perfect. The idea that we'll get to see him get his powerful hammer back, Mjolnir, is actually better. Some people like the hammer. Some people don't like Starbreaker. I think Starbreaker was a powerful weapon, but Mjolnir is Thor's main powerful weapon. And that's all I need to see Thor for. Coming in at number 4, Black Panther Part 2. Now, this is going to be highly anticipated. I can't wait to see what Bo Chasman brings to his character in a sequel to Black Panther. They are talking about bringing in X-Men characters in this film. Storm, set up that love triangle between Storm and the other girl. Potential villains. There's opportunities for a lot of villains. In the comic books, there is the son of the Crawl. There's the Crawl, and then the Crawl has a son that fights the Black Panther. One of the tribes turns against Black Panther. Dr. Doom could show up. I don't know if they'll do it, but you have the opportunity for potential villains to show up in the second film of Black Panther. Maybe take the technology, maybe someone steals it, puts it in the city, and that forces Black Panther to team up with one of the other Avengers. I don't know if he's going to team up with Captain Marvel or Spider-Man, but he'll team up with someone that's a familiar face to all of us. And that's what I think he would do with Black Panther 2. That could also be a tie-in and a leeway to Avengers 5. Since we all know he might be coming back as an Avenger, that's the best way to do it with Black Panther Part 2. That's going to set up the future of the Marvel MCU. Him pairing up with Captain Marvel and Spider-Man is the way to do it. I don't know, maybe you get the Hulk, Professor Hulk, to come in to help him out. Who knows what they could do with this sequel. All right, coming in at number 3, Spider-Man 3. I mean, we all got upset last year when we heard there were going to be no more Spider-Man in the MCU. And I believe you can rectify that by explaining how is he going to cope with the fact that everyone now knows he's Spider-Man. And I wonder which villains are going to use his identity to the whole world against him. Like, this has potential. You could get Kraven the Hunter. You could probably have Morbius show up at the end credits. Venom is who's been rumored to show up at the end of this movie, which I wouldn't be surprised if they went a different route and save that for a Venom versus Spider-Man movie, like they did Batman versus Superman. Hopefully they don't have the same mess as that movie did, but actually explain how these two would fight each other before determining is he going to be in the same universe or not. And of course that it's going to tie in with another movie that's on our list. Coming in at number 2, Doctor Strange 2, which is entitled Doctor Strange, Something of Madness. This movie is really high on my list. I can't wait to see what they do with Doctor Strange. There are talks of creating the superhero group that we know from the comic books. The idea that you can bring in multiple characters. What I think they're going to do, I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this. Take this with a grain of salt. I think they might actually bring in different versions of Doctor Strange first before we see different versions of our Marvel Avengers. Now, to bring villains that he already fought in the first film back, is the right thing to do with the second film. Now, I know there's some people saying they would expect the sequel to be a horror movie, and the studios decided we want to go with a different version of that story. To me, I think if they make a strange Doctor Strange 3 or a Doctor Strange crossover in a different universe with a different version of Doctor Strange, then you might actually get a horror movie. It's unfortunate we won't be getting that particular version of Doctor Strange. Maybe if they did Doctor Strange and the New Mutants and that was a horror movie, then I could see, yeah, the possibilities in that. Um, Coming in at number one on my list, Mulan. This is a big Disney property. Movies like Mulan and Black Widow are supposed to be movies that break $1 billion plus. I have a feeling that they'll probably put this on digital, pay per view, and do a theatrical movie release, and it again will probably get number one. So I think this is probably on everyone's list of movies. Like if you don't go see any other movie on this list, I guarantee you you'll probably go see Mulan. I mean, it is a big Disney property. When it was announced it was going to become live action, I was like, oh yeah, I got to see this. I seen the cartoon when I was a kid. I like the movie. I can't wait to see what it does live action. I didn't go see Aladdin. I didn't go see Lion King because I was waiting for this one movie. And this is it for me, Mulan. The idea that you can have a Japanese girl disguise herself as a man, wanting to take part in a fight in Fear No Japan to prove to her family that she can be among men and do it convincingly. And to have a love interest find out that she's actually a girl pretending to be a boy, and the dynasty finds out that they have a woman in their army, and they upset because the emperor wants all men, but this one girl leads that resistance to free the rest of that country. That's the perfect story to be telling on camera. So yeah, I think this is by far the best film. It's going to be on the same level as Captain Marvel and Black Widow, and this is going to break $1 billion plus. This is a movie for a fact people will watch 2 to 3 times. But this one, probably 2 or 3 movie reviews. Can't wait to see, and who knows? Maybe if this movie is that good, they probably could make a potential sequel or sequels or a future Mulan television series out of this. There's a lot you can do with this character. You can give this character 2 films, 3 films, or you can go the Harry Potter route, 3 films, and then turn around and break up Mulan television show. Don't be surprised in 3 years they announce a sequel to Mulan and then ideas on Disney Plus for a Mulan television show. Right now, it's too early to tell what this movie will do, but in 3 or 4 years, don't be surprised or shocked that I told you that they might actually entertain the idea of a Mulan sequel or sequels and then turn around and make a Disney Plus television series. You'll be surprised what they might come up with. I'm just telling you, this might actually lead to something even bigger. So, part 3, I will mention movies like Bad Boys 4, because I know some people are going to say, you didn't mention Bad Boys, you didn't mention Ghostbusters. Look, we got so many movies coming out in the next 5 or 6 years, it's not even funny. I can't put all the movies in one video. That'd be like 3 hours. And I don't think anybody wants to watch a 3-hour video of me talking about all the movies. So, until then, peace.